tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy this afternoon with a high of 63. Then this evening, rain expected with an overnight low of 42. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us. Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks Bryant Lake Regional Park, located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It is another beautiful day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today. And I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Tom Maher. He is the office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center, and he is here to talk about the best kept secret in the Twin Cities. Twin Cities Men's Center is celebrating their 50-year anniversary next year, and Tom will share the history of TCMC, their offerings, and what keeps people coming back to the basement of an office building in Uptown Minneapolis. The Twin Cities Men's Center provides resources for men looking to grow in body, mind, and spirit. And from that foundation, they advocate for healthier family relationships and community relations. You will enjoy listening to my conversation today with Tom Maher. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and of course, topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows, and we look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website. And we can also be found on your favorite streaming service, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there are two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show producer, Patrick, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 952-946-6205. Or you can directly text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry. If you missed our contact numbers, I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I am looking forward to welcoming my guest for today, Tom Maher, office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, this is great. We were talking off the air before the show, and I ran across a table that you guys had at the state fair this summer, and just reaching out to people, answering questions. I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to get you guys on the air here because I never heard of you.
Right. And a lot of people haven't. And I guess I want to, before we really get into that stuff, I want to assure the audience, the announcer who kind of brought us in mentioned that portions of the show may be pre-recorded. I want to guarantee you, I am here live and in person at the radio station. This is not pre-recorded at all. This is the real deal. So yeah, that was actually I think our third year at the state fair. So we really enjoyed going out there. It's been a lot of fun. And Andy Michael, the person that you had met, he's very good about greeting people and talking to people and sharing information. He's big on sharing information. So yeah, it was a good time, good year.
What I like about people like Andy is rather than standing behind the table, he's in the front of the table.
Did he give you a script? Because he says that all the time.
No,
you're not okay.
No. It was again. There was 50 exhibitors there. It's an amazing. The first Monday of the state fair, it's like Mental Health Awareness Day or whatever that day is. And in fact, I was invited to go out there by one of the other exhibitors, and they said, "Oh, you got to come out here, Ken. There's so many great organizations. They're doing great work for our communities and for our citizens." And I found a lot of people that, you're one of them that are now on the radio show.
Yeah, and it's funny too because we do the state fair, but we've also done things like transitions fairs and things in prison, and where there's places lots of people doing offerings in their tables. And I'm amazed at how many people sit behind the table, and we're always let's get out front because as they're walking by, then you're right there, and it might be a little bit intimidating to some of them sometimes, but we're like the only ones that are out in front of the table where other people just kind of sit back and relax and chat amongst themselves, amongst the other tables. And we're like, no, let's be out there chatting to the people who are coming by. So
I know it. They need to take a little course on how to engage in a trade show environment or exhibitor environment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Andy was great. He was the 1 out of 50 that was standing in front of the table. And I thought, I've got to get you guys on the show.
Well, then, after that, if you ran into him in front of the table, then he went and with our information, walked around to all the other tables and introduced himself and make sure he was giving out not just information about us, but things of value. We had like a men's wellness checklist he was handing out to all the men there. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was great. I would encourage people to go to the state fair, first of all. It's one of the best state fairs in the country.
Yep.
And then do it on a Monday, the first Monday of the fair.
Yeah, the Mental Health Awareness Day. Yeah.
Yes. And it's right there beneath the grandstand. And it's easy to find. Huge tent, a lot of people, and a lot of great people. Boy.
Yeah, so if you know the state fair, there's that big ramp walking down. We're just off to the side of the big walking ramp. So
That's right. Right. Yep. Yeah, just west of that. So, all right. Well, got a few minutes here left. The first segment. People want to know who you are. So it really helps in the conversation if you could just introduce yourself, tell us a bit about your background.
Right.
Whatever you feel you'd like to share.
Yeah.
As long as you'd like.
Yeah. Well, I was born and raised here in the Twin Cities, spent most of my life in the western suburbs, but I've moved around a little bit. Worked a number of different jobs, did some stuff in the grocery industry, did some stuff in the corporate America, but end of 2008 when everyone got laid off, I was laid off too. And I've got some other interests like I do volunteer work for the Mutual UFO Network. So I'm, with the UFO alien people. So, and I also have done some volunteer work with the Alternatives to Violence Project and just prisons and that. So I was without a job. I'm like, where do I go from here?
Right.
And I stumbled across life coaching and I kind of fell into that. And then I had my niche of musicians, actors, comics, and models because I did kind of dabbled in a lot of that stuff. And that didn't pan out so well. And then I needed to make money because I wasn't making money coaching. So I did some career work, which I'm still doing some of that. And the Men's Center opportunity came up and I thought I was a good fit with them because I'd also done a retreat with the Mankind Project, which is very, very big with the Men's Center. And so interviewed with them, was a good fit. So I could still do my career work. I still help them out in the office. And kind of that brought me here today as a really, really quick overview of how that all happened. So.
But I as we talked beforehand, so many people that are on the show over the years, this is our 8th year doing this. They hit a point in their career and either they just wake up one day and go, why am I doing what I'm doing? And they switch gears 180 degrees.
Right.
Or with you, it was the Great Recession. I mean, that just wiped out just so many things. And of course we had COVID then that happened years later that kind of changed the face. And a lot of people at that point said, I'm just done with this. I'm going to do why I'm designed to be here on this earth.
Right.
And they kind of reflect where they're going.
Yeah, because when I was in corporate America, I was compensated very well. They liked my work. I did a very good job, but I had zero passion around it. But it was safe.
Right.
It was safe. I could just stay there and just keep making the money and keep doing the stuff and have a nice career going. But then when the rug was pulled out from under me, it's kind of like, oh, well, what's next? Because it's not safe anymore. So now I got to find where. And it's funny too, because when I got called in for my layoff talk, I kind of like took it pretty well, I think. But then I'd see other people who were getting called into their talk and they're walking by just sobbing and it was just so traumatic for them. So I'm lucky it wasn't that traumatic for me. I was just kind of like, well, there's no changing this. I'm gonna go this way. So now where am I going to go from here? So, and it was kind of like, now instead of just kind of going down that path that's already established, now I get to create my own path. And where is that going to take me? So,
right. I've had so many people over the years on the show that have told me, on air or off the air, they said, I was actually living an illusion. I was thinking that this was a safe, secure, the way I should do it. And then all of a sudden, the boat turned upside down.
Yep.
And they had forced to kind of think things through again. And they said, boy, I'm so grateful. At the time, it was very traumatic.
Yeah.
I mean, for them, the family, whatever. But they said, it's just crazy how I'm so glad that happened. Now I look back on it because now I'm doing what I am designed to do and what I want to do. And it's giving me joy.
Right. Yep.
And I mean, some of the Gallup polls that say, 95% of the people are not happy in their jobs.
Oh, I know.
It's unfortunate.
It is. It's really unfortunate, but and then it's too. 95% of people aren't happy in their jobs, but then there's some people that have no jobs that would love to have any job. So it's kind of like, what I have, which is a blessing to others, is like a detriment to me. It's like, no, what I've got, whether it's a little or a lot, is something that someone else is praying that they're as lucky as I am. So
right. Well, the glass couldn't be always looked at half full or half empty.
I try to keep my eye on that gratitude as much as I can. So
that is so critical, boy. Especially in the work that you're doing, the work that my organization does. You got to keep that positive attitude, and not always easy,
right?
But it helps to talk to people like you,
right. Yeah, hopefully it does. I'm hoping it does. If it doesn't, they might get rid of me. I don't want that to happen. So
No. Well, I told you, Andy was so excited to get you and be connected here. So it's great to have you here. All right. Well, end of the first segment here.
Cool.
We got the music cueing us out here. It's time for a short break, everyone. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Tom Maher. He is the office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center, and he's here to talk about the best kept secret in the Twin Cities. And they are celebrating their 50-year anniversary next year. And he's going to be sharing the history of TCMC, and their offerings and what keeps people coming back to their basement in an uptown office building. All right. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Do you have a loved one who is not receiving the care that they deserve at their current memory care facility? I'm Ken Haglind, Director of Community Relations here at the Welshire, and I meet with families every single day who are struggling with poor staffing, missed medications, poor personal cares, and an absence of engagement from consistent activities. 85% of our residents at the Welshire are coming from other memory care facilities that could not meet their care needs. Not all memory care is created equally. And if this is something your family is experiencing, I encourage you to come visit our community of well-being and see the Welshire difference, where we promise that your loved one will live with pride and dignity. The Welshire has 24/7 nursing, a robust activities team that provides activities 7 days a week. And when the diagnosis takes a 9-to-5 approach, so will we. Book a tour at welshiremn.com and see our community of well-being in action. That's welshiremn.com. Again, that's welshiremn.com.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. October is here, so Halloween is right around the corner. And if you're thinking of having a horror movie marathon with friends, you better make sure your home doesn't look like something out of one of those movies. Don't ghost your carpet this fall. My cleaning heroes at Zero Res can help get all those spooky smells and creepy stains out of your home. Carpet, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, any surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Right now, you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner with 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. But there's something even scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home, and it's in your air ducts. This month, take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning service. Don't let a missed deal haunt you. Call 9520-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com today and ask for the AM 950 special. Backorder forward spells the same. Zero Res.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Tom Maher. He is the office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center, and he's here to talk about the best kept secret in the Twin Cities. And he said it's the best kept secret for the last 10 years. He's hoping to continue to change that.
Yeah.
And they are celebrating their 50-year, that's 50, folks, 50-year anniversary next year. And Tom will be sharing the history of TCMC, their offerings, and again, what keeps people coming back to the basement of an office building in Uptown Minneapolis. All right, so the Twin Cities Men's Center provides resources for men looking to grow in body, mind, and spirit. And from that foundation, they advocate for healthier family relationships and community relations. All right, Tom, how can our listeners contact your organization if they have questions, want more information, or maybe interested in donating or volunteering?
Yeah, so donating or volunteering, they can always go to our website, tcmc.org, and there's a donate button there, but they can also call the office at 612-822-5892, and they can send us an email at ofcmgr, like office manager, ofcmgr at tcmc.org. And, even though we're the Twin Cities Men's Center, we do have some female members too. So just because, you're female doesn't mean you can't become a member, because we do get a lot of support from females. So we'd love to increase our female membership. And of course, join. That's always a good thing. Join the organization. Whether you're a man or a woman, please join the organization. Is always a good way. So,
well, for sure. And you're doing something right to be around for 50 years.
Right.
I mean, it shows the need, and it shows the service that you
right.
are doing.
Yep.
So let's talk about the history and background of your organization. I mean, what was the impetus? What was the start of this great organization?
Yeah, actually, the start of it was really the women's movement, believe it or not.
Really?
Because in the 60s and 70s, the women's movement was going really strong, and they were doing all this stuff, and they were making all these improvements and changes and working and becoming better women and stuff. And men around the country were kind of going, wow, these women are really doing some great things, and they're really improving themselves. Maybe we should get off our duffs, and maybe we should improve ourselves a little bit too. So it's funny, men's centers kind of started popping up all over the country, and a lot of them didn't make it. I was surprised. I thought we were the last one standing, but I saw something recently. There are some other men's centers in the country, but we're one of the last ones. So, but we survived, and we're still going strong. We hope to maintain going strong. One of the things, some of the centers that fell for different reasons. Some of them tried to become national really fast, and they just couldn't support that structure. Some of them were taking government grant money. When you take government grant money, you have to meet certain qualifications, or it's gone. And we don't take any government grant money, no government money. We do take grants, but private grants. Yeah. And a lot of our stuff comes from memberships and donations in our anger management class. So we're very, very grassroots. We started grassroots. We wanted to stay grassroots. COVID did happen, and when that happened, when we had to shut down, our support groups wanted to go online, so we got some like everyone else, we jumped on Zoom,
Right.
and then of course everyone around the country was also isolated too, and they're all kind of going, I need to connect with somebody, so they found us online. So we started getting our local support groups were getting people from New York State and from Michigan and from Nevada, and so so then when we open back up again, we're like, well, we don't want to get rid of all these people who are really part of our group now. So without trying to become national, we've become a little more national than we intended to be. But it is what it is. It's a good thing. So
Well, no, but I think if you're doing good work, it just attracts people.
Right.
I mean, it is so fascinating to me, just the intentions of people and how they can draw and bring people that want help.
Right. Yep.
They just, in fact, I think COVID, it isolated. It was one of the worst things that ever happened to society is it isolated people.
Right.
And then they struggled with all the issues of not being able to connect and socialize and just share life with other people. And a lot of organizations like yours either didn't make it or they converted. They were able to pivot.
Right.
Go, well, let's just go online then.
Yeah. And we did take a financial hit because a lot of our support group donations, when the support groups are in person, they donate a lot more. When they go online, we can still put out other ways for them to donate online, but it's not as easy. It's easier when you're right there in the room and you're just kind of dropping money in the hat. So the donations kind of went down during COVID, but it is what it is. But we survived. So, but it was challenging, but we made it.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness.
We're still facing some challenges, but we're still looking forward. Next year's the 50 year. We're not going to give up till we hit that 50 for sure. So
that's great. Yeah. Well, that's again one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to having you on the show here today is to get the word out.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. I think there's I just look at society and I see all the needs that our organization runs across in helping people end of life. And it seems like there's so many things hiding in plain sight.
Right.
And it's sad. But again, we have such great social worker team in our organization, and they're always helping people connect.
Right.
And it's just an endless need for people to just find a place where they can really feel comfortable. Like I talked to you earlier about, there was a women's group on a few weeks ago, and what an impact that has had just in the little South Metro area, in Burnsville area, Savage area. And people have just looked back on that 20 years later and go, boy, if it wasn't for that help that I got at that time, I don't know where I'd be today.
Right. Yeah. And it's funny because, our offerings break down into 4 categories. We have a family law clinic once a month for men and women. Now it's only online. We have anger management classes just for men. We have 2 different anger management classes. Then we have a handful of support groups. Most of them are men only. Some are men and women. We used to have a women's only support group, but we don't have that one anymore. So we have different support groups, but the presentations, I started working there about 10 years ago. Before me, they used to do lots of presentations. When I came on, there wasn't really any presentations going on. Now we're starting to do more presentations. So we got some really cool stuff outside of our support group. So we've got a nutritional gut health coach named Terry Ramon. She's out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. She's done a couple presentations for us. She's going to be doing more. She's got like 8 pillars of gut health she talks about. And she's going to be doing a presentation for us in early December on holiday gut health. So how you can have all kinds of holiday treats that are still healthy for you and good for your gut. So you used to be mindful. And it's exciting too, because I shouldn't say no one knows. Very few people know about International Men's Day. We only found out about International Men's Day a few years ago. I guess it started in Australia a while back. So we'll be celebrating International Men's Day this year. And we've got a special speaker on International Men's Day. We've got Tim Delmont, who is he'll be talking about his presentation on being a dad, how to manage difficult issues. And he had a really interesting story, but he was a dad and he lost his wife. She passed away, and then it was getting a new wife and just all these things on how it is to be a dad for your own children and stepchildren and all that. So he's going to be talking about difficulties being a dad. We've got another strategic marketing coach, named Eric Forrester, who's going to talk about overcoming obstacles and challenges and how. So we're really starting to kick up our presentations. So if you've got any interest in those things, we're doing a lot more presentations. But of course, our support groups are they're consistent going on. So there's lots of options there for people to get support around different things. So
all right, okay, we got to sign off for this segment here. But
sure.
When we come back, I want to make sure people know how to find that information on the website.
Yep.
All right, it's time for a short break, everyone. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Tom Maher. He is the office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center, and he's here to talk about the best kept secret in the Twin Cities, and they're celebrating their 50th year anniversary next year. So we'll be right back to continue to talk with him about that. If you have a question for Tom, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. October is here, so Halloween is right around the corner. And if you're thinking of having a horror movie marathon with friends, you better make sure your home doesn't look like something out of one of those movies. Don't ghost your carpet this fall. My cleaning heroes at Zero Res can help get all those spooky smells and creepy stains out of your home. Carpet, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, any surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Right now, you can get your entire home Zero Resified from Minnesota's ultimate carpet cleaner, with 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. But there's something even scarier than ghosts and goblins hiding in your home, and it's in your air ducts. This month, take 15% off your air duct and dryer vent cleaning service. Don't let a missed deal haunt you. Call 9520-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com today and ask for the AM 950 special. Backorder forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, I'm Rachel Shamblat. My dad is Dr. Scott Shamblat from Shamblat Family Dentistry. A lot of people are afraid of the dentist, but you don't have to be. My dad makes going to the dentist comfortable and even fun. He won't be mad if you haven't seen a dentist in a long time. He just wants to take care of you and your teeth. If you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shamblat Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblatfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
Hi, this is Paul Metza. Join me in celebrating my 70th birthday show, which is also album release party for my new record, Songs of Resistance and Resolve, a 13-song disc of my politically charged songs recorded from 1984 to 2025, including my new one, No Kings, No Crown, with the great Duluth musician Al Sparhawk. The show features myself, along with the legendary band Cats Under the Stars trio, Sonny Earl, Mary Harris, and my 2 new singers, the Tilt Down Titanettes. This is a benefit for AM 950. All media is under pressure from the current administration. It is very important to celebrate all the great things AM 950 does for our progressive community. Tickets for the show on November 2nd, 7 p.m. at AstorHouseMPLS.com.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy this afternoon with a high of 63. Then this evening, rain expected with an overnight low of 42. For more than 40 years, the Great Wall Restaurant has been serving up Szechuan and Mandarin favorites. The Great Wall is located just north of 50th in France on the Minneapolis-Edina City line. Check them out at greatwallrestaurant.us. ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
It was before. Is that all right or no?
Saturday.
Okay. Because I was okay. Now I'm here. As long as you can.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Tom Maher. He is the office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center, and he's here to talk about the best kept secret in the Twin Cities, celebrating their 50-year anniversary next year. Tom is sharing the history of TCMC, their offerings, and what keeps people coming back to the basement of an office building in Uptown Minneapolis. All right. Before we return to our conversation with Tom, I want to mention this radio show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving our Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life health care services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. They are available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, 952-898-1022, or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's return to our conversation with Tom. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Okay, Tom, how can our listeners contact your organization if they have more questions or want more information?
Yeah, like I said, they always go to the website, and they can email us from the website, but they can also call us at 612-822-5892, or they can just email us directly at OFCMGR, like office manager, OFCMGR at TCMC.org. And that email goes to about me and about 3 or 4 other key people that'll be able to hopefully answer any of their questions and get them what they need. So,
okay, great. Well, your website is chock full of information. And I know we ran through a few things last segment, but I just want to make sure people know how to find the information. So the home page is where you have all those presentations that you had talked about last segment.
Correct.
They're right there. Just scroll down, folks, from the home page, and you can find all these presentations, great speakers.
Yes, absolutely.
Very key topics.
Yep.
They can really benefit people.
Yep.
There's just so much information and some misinformation out there. It helps to just find someone that's kind of call things through a little bit.
Yeah, and then of course there's the menu bar on top. So on the menu bar on top, there's attend events, and there's an events calendar in that drop down. So there's that. But we've got a drop down just for support groups. You can see specifics on any of our support groups, and we've got an anger management drop down too. So you can see all about our anger management classes, both our men helping men with anger, which is a level 2 court approved level anger management class. So if someone goes to court and the court says, hey, you need to go to anger management level 2 class, that's us. And it was actually written, the book and the curriculum was written by local psychiatrist David Decker. And then he's actually written another book it's not really a follow-up, it's kind of an extension. We call the class Moving Toward Empowerment, because a lot of what happens in anger management is you really need to own your anger, because a lot of I've been on phones with guys that they haven't even taken the class yet, and they'll talk to me and go, but I'm not angry, the judge is angry, and the attorney is angry, my wife is angry, all these, they've got the anger problems, I don't have any anger problems. I'm going, if you could hear what you sound like, you might have a different view on that. But once they stop going, it's all them, they start going, it's all me. All the stuff outside may be happening, but my reaction is me. That's all. Once they can do that, then they're at the point where they can move toward empowerment. So, and sometimes going through the Men Helping Men with Anger class, our first one, is enough. Sometimes they need to go through it a couple times. If they go through it more than once, they get a discount on future going through it. But once they get to the point where they're really owning it and taking responsibility, then they can move to the empowerment class if they wanted. And some guys in the anger management class, they grow a lot. I mean, there's big growth, big movement. Some of it's just a little bit, but we can't really judge success by how much this person changed and how much that person changed, because it's, are they getting it? Because our former anger management coordinator, he's passed away, John Hesh, would always say, it's not, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for effort. So we want to see that they're making some progress. I was assisting a group a year or two ago, and there was this one guy, he just was not getting it. I was really concerned about, because he was just barely going to pass the class. But around week 8 or 9 or 10, he said something. And I was like, oh, something just clicked in his head. We didn't get a full change. But he's starting to see there's differences now. He's starting to change things. So that was very encouraging to see him move a little bit. But in that same class, other guys moved a lot. It's very different from person to person, what they'll get out of it, how much they'll get out of it. And a huge part of it is how much are they willing to put in? Because we've seen some guys come through who are court ordered, who come in class, they sit down, they fold their arms like, I'm in class and I'm going to be here every class and I'll get my check mark and I'm going to get my certificate and yeah, you're going to sit here in every class, but you're not going to get your certificate with that attitude. That's not going to happen. And we have other guys that'll come in and they're really like, actually that same class where I was supporting it, one guy came in, I think he was court ordered, and he was just like, I need to get through this. He had good intentions, but after about 3 or 4 weeks, he started kind of going, wait a minute. There's some value here. There's something good that's going on. I can actually change and start doing things differently. He started implementing what he was learning and starting to see the change. And so he went from kind of like, well, I have to do this to, hey, I really want to do this because I'm seeing that it's going to benefit me and my kids and my partner and my job down the road and stuff. So they get really, not all of them, but some do get really, really excited about what's going on and the change they're making and what they're seeing. So,
yeah, well, the old adage, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to
exactly. And we try to teach people how to, because, I did some prison work too. And when I was doing volunteer work in prison, that we were in small groups. And the one guy who chose to lead his group, we were talking about reactions and stuff. And they were saying, oh, when this happens, this happens. But he was like, no, but when this happens, you have to do this. And the rest of his group was going, no, you don't have to. Oh, no, but if someone does or says this, you have to. And like, you're not quite getting it. You're the leader, but you're not getting it. Because there's that gap. There's the stimulus, there's the response, and there's that gap that's in between it. And if you haven't worked on it, it's always very, very small, but you can make that gap get bigger and bigger. And if you can make that gap big enough, that's where your choice is available. Right. That's where you can make changes. That's where you can do things differently. That's where you can see different options. You're not going, I have to do this. You're like, wait a minute. I really feel like I want to do that, but is there something else I could do? And that's one thing we talk about with the anger management classes. We create de-escalation plans, because the worst time to try to figure out how to de-escalate is in the moment. You don't want to do when you're all escalated and you're all pumped up and you're on like a 10. That's the worst time to go, oh, gee, let me figure out how to handle this. No, we figure it out in advance, and they can write it down, keep it in the pot, and go, oh, wait, I know when I get escalated, I need to do these things. And I don't have to figure it out because I've already figured it out in advance. And now I can apply what I've learned. And that really makes the change for them. So, yeah.
Do you guys use like role playing or situation analysis? Or I'm curious how you can get people to see how to start to figure out how to react, how not to react.
Right.
That's a situation.
That's a good question, because like I said, our book and curriculum were all written by David Decker, but all of our instructors are they're not licensed. They're not psychologists. It's kind of considered peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
So they're trained and they go through the process, but everybody has their own personality. And so everybody handles it differently. So everybody kind of runs the class a little bit differently too. I don't know if anybody does any role playing, but what a lot of them really try to do is try to get the guys to start telling their story and start getting that out when they're speaking. Because when you're hearing someone else's story, you can kind of go, oh, I'm that too. I'm not the only one who feels that way. There's someone else in the world that feels that way too. Or, oh, I never thought I could do that as an option. And I was in a class a number of years back, and there was one guy who was a real handful, and he would start going on and he'd start telling a story, and everybody in the room would just kind of start looking at each other, and we'd start laughing. Oh, we know what so-and-so's going to do because we've seen this before. And then he would not, in the situation, he'd get angry, but now he finds himself laughing at it because he's going, that is ridiculous. It is silly. Why am I doing it that way when now I've got this group of guys who I've kind of bonded with? We've kind of created a group, and I can do something else. So not so much role play, but as much as getting in. And one of our instructors, he likes in the introductions, getting them really into their story, because he likes to hear their check-ins every week, hear what their story is. He's like, I'm going to take things from what they're saying, and I'm going to apply the techniques, and so they can see real world, real life, how they can actually apply it to their, it's not theoretical. Right. It's something that they can start using right away. So, yeah.
Wow. And they can also pick up that, like you say, understand what to look for in other people.
Yep.
And so that makes it easier to apply to yourself.
Right. And then they'll be going, I never knew I looked like that, but now when I hear that person saying it, is that how I look to everybody else? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I look like that. And then now we're giving them tools that, here's all these other ways. And we talk about where did your reactions or your beliefs come from? A lot of it came from our childhood and how we were raised. And so, in my family, we always did this. That's how we did things. And then when our family does it, well, that must be the right way to do it because my family does it. So everybody must do it that way. No, not everybody does it that way. There are other ways. We try to show them other ways and different approaches. And we give them a lot of different approaches because it's not going to appeal to everybody, but hopefully there'll be 2 or 3 where they'll go, I can do that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. But that one, I can see myself trying that. I can see myself trying that. I can see that one working if in this situation, so they got the tool belt. Now I got to put all the tools in it. So they got all these tools to use. So.
Right. Wow. Yeah. It's, I've always heard the word, well, what was your normal? Well,
right.
You're going up because everyone has their own normal.
Believe it or not, my family was perfect. I was raised in the perfect family until I grew up and found out maybe not so much. But as a kid, I thought, oh, we're the perfect family. I got 2 parents. I got some siblings and we got a house and everything's perfect. And that's the way everyone is. And that's how it's supposed to be. Not really. So no. And my mom's probably listening. She's going, oh, don't tell them that. So sorry, Mom, the truth's out. We weren't perfect. So.
Oh, that is great. So on anger, anger management is just one of the services you guys have.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a critical thing because it really it's a life skill that we all need to learn to figure out how to do and to help us respond better in life. How long are those classes typically? And you said some of them are court ordered.
Right.
Is there a certain amount of classes or seat time that has to be done in order to satisfy the court requirements?
Yeah. So the course is 1 night a week for 12 weeks, 2 hours per night. So it's a 24-hour course. To earn their certificate, one of the things they have to do is they have to attend at least 10 out of the 12 sessions. We encourage them to attend all 12, but they got to attend at least 10 out of the 12. Then there's other requirements that we have, and but they got to participate, they got to share, they got to have a good attitude, they got to show they're trying. If they're crossing their arms and going, here, I'm just getting my certificate, you're not getting your certificate. But they got to show they're making an effort, even if it's a little bit. The guy that made a little bit, we were like, okay, he did. We passed him because he was in a tough place and he made some progress. But so that's how that goes. And we try to start them every 6 weeks or so, but we need the class to kind of be full before we can get it started. Right. And sometimes enrollments come in really fast and sometimes they come in not so fast. We kind of adjust it that way. So, yeah.
Right.
And really, as far as the court ordered, I heard, I haven't checked it recently, but generally between 25 to 35% are court ordered. Everybody else is there for other reasons.
Wow,
so,
that's great. All right. The music's cueing us out here, Tom. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Tom Maher, office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center. If you have a question, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
There really is no place like home. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Home Health. When you're faced with an illness or an injury, being able to stay at home and receive care is important. Our home health offers a wide range of services, including skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapies, aides, homemakers, in-home respite care, and 24/7 live-in care. We'll work closely with your primary care provider to come up with an individualized plan for you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com.
Hey, Francois, what's with all the wrapping paper?
Salut, Laura, je fais des cadeaux.
You're making gifts. These must be for your clients. And then your favorite macaroons for Nicolette's.
Bien sûr.
Oh, they put your business logo on them? Luxurious.
Oui, et is expédié partout dans le pays.
They ship anywhere in the U.S. And look how many you bought. You must have lots of clients.
Mais non, ils sont tous pour moi.
Oh, Francois, these are just for you? Well, visit nicoletsmacaroons.com today to create thoughtful gifts for your business, your friends, or yourself.
In today's uncertain times, Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces believes that a fire can add comfort and security to your life. At Woodland, our mission is to connect you to a place for fire that works.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces installed our wood stove years ago, and we still love it. Watching the fire, feeling the heat, is a joy we experience every day. And knowing we have a reliable heat source makes us feel snug and safe.
There are many choices in wood, gas, or electric. For diversity in styles, at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we display over 180 models, and 35 of these are burning displays. You can experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Whether wood, gas, or electric, find a fire that warms your heart, a fire that adds comfort and security to your life. See the many choices at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, located on the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis, and online at woodlandstoves.com.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces since 1977. For over 48 years, our slogan has been, out of the ordinary products and services. Our mission is to get you a fireplace that works in your life.
Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Tom Maher. He is the office manager, and what a great guy. I'm just really enjoying this conversation. He's the office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center, which everyone should know about. This has been hiding in plain sight for me for my entire life, but he's here to talk about the best kept secret in the Twin Cities, and they are celebrating their 50-year anniversary next year. And Tom is sharing the history of TCMC, their offerings, and what keeps people coming back to the basement of an office building in Uptown Minneapolis. In fact, if you want to see the picture of the building, just go to tcmc.org and click on the About TCMC on the far right side. And it's actually in the Contact Us section. Yep. That's where it is. Yep. And there you go. If you have a question, this is the last segment, folks. Give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Tom, how can our listeners contact your organization if they have questions or want more information, or are interested in either donating or volunteering?
Yeah. So contacting us is 612-822-5892 or by email, ofcmgr@tcmc.org. And donating, you donate right online. You can always mail in checks or money orders. You can bring in cash. You can always do. And so we're located right on the corner of 33rd and Hennepin Avenue South in a building called the Uptown Office Park. And we're in the basement. So we're hiding out underground. And the Uptown Office Park has two addresses. It has 3249 and 3253, I think. Go in the 3249 door and then go downstairs. And once you're downstairs, the hallway is just an L shape. Go down to the L, take a left. We're halfway down the left. If I'm there, the door is always wide open, so you can come on right in. So so we're easy to find. But and we're always doing promotions and stuff. We're always looking for donations because we can always use donations. But one of the things that brings people through the door most often is our support groups. I want to talk about them a little bit.
Yes.
So I want to give you a real quick rundown on which ones we have and then a little bit about them. So we've actually got the longest running gay issue support group in the Twin Cities. We've got another support group that meets twice a week, once in Minneapolis and once in St. Paul, called Choosing Healthy Sexual Boundaries. And we've got another support group called Addiction Busters. And then we've got kind of a catch-all support group called General Men's Issues, Divorce and Uncoupling. And boy, I could talk about each one of those too. But Addiction Busters is interesting because it's all about addictions. When people think about addictions, they think of the big four: sex, drugs, gambling, and alcohol. And that's all there is. And Addiction Busters says, no, it's not. You could be addicted to your phone, or addicted to the Kardashians, or the television, or lying, or addicted to drama, or addicted to popcorn. And Addiction Busters will look at any of those. And they don't use the 12-step program, but they'll use stuff like smart recovery and rational recovery and things like that. So, and I say this about all of our facilitators for our support groups. They're really good and they're really dedicated, and that Addiction Busters is no exception. So it was funny. The guy that started Addiction Busters, I said, that's kind of an interesting name. Where did you come up with Addiction Busters? And he said, well, I was going through the grocery store with my wife, and I saw this big display with graham crackers on it. I thought, oh, I want to get some graham crackers. And his wife said, yeah, go get some graham crackers. He said, no, I'm not gonna get any. She goes, well, why not? He goes, if I get a box of graham crackers, I'm gonna eat the whole box. She goes, oh, no, you could eat just one. He goes, no, I know myself. I'm not gonna eat one. I'm gonna eat the whole box. And she goes, wow, you really are an addiction buster, aren't you? And that's where the name came from, because his addiction for graham crackers, now they became the Addiction Busters. So
and how long has he been been doing that at your organization?
He's not with Addiction Busters right now, but he's been with us for 25 years, I think, because he actually started the Healthy Sexual Boundaries group. He wrote our facilitator training program, and he's been very involved and he's done a lot for us. And actually the Healthy Sexual Boundaries group too is interesting because there's a story about that. So, because there's all this stigma and things around people who've had sex offenses, and and there's once you've had a sex offense or been convicted, you can never change. You're always the same. And we tend to stigmatize them and categorize them and say you're like that, and that's all there is to it. And with choosing healthy sexual boundaries, it's really about choices and choosing how you want to be. And there's one guy, I might get choked up during the story because I told the story before and it always chokes me up, but he was an MSOP, and MSOP stands for Minnesota Sex Offender Program, I think in St. Peter. And he got out. And of course, when they get out, what does society do? We shun them. We don't embrace them. We're not kind to them. You treat people how you want, but I'm all for kindness. We're not kind to people like that. And he got out and he had a case manager, and his case manager said, I want you to go to the boundaries group for the men's center, the one that meets in St. Paul. Go to the St. Paul boundaries group. And his attitude was, he had some farmland out in western Minnesota. And he said, you know what? I want to put that part of my life behind me. I want to forget about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want anything to do with it. I want to distance myself from my past as much as possible. I don't want to go to that group. But his case manager kept saying, go to the group, go to the group, go to the group. And he kept refusing. And finally, his case manager said, look, go to the group one time. If you go to the group one time, I'll put a note in your file saying you went to the group, and I will never bother you about it again. And he's like, okay, if that's what it's going to take you to get you off my back, I'll do it. So he went to the group once. And he found out, it's not that bad. And the guys are kind of nice, and it's friendly, and it's kind of relaxing. It's not as traumatic as I thought. So he decided to go back again and try it the next week. And he's like, the guys are kind of friends with each other, and they're making friends. Oh no, they kind of go out to dinner afterwards, and they socialize. And, he started kind of building some relationships, getting to know people better. Then he became a regular member of the group, and I still didn't even know anything about him. And then after he'd been a part of the group for a while and really get enthusiastic about it, he started calling me up. He said, well, I've been doing this, but I need to do more for the men's center. What can I do for the men's center? Because I'm getting so much. I said, well, you can join. And he did join. He said, but I need to do more for you guys as well. So, I could always use someone to come down and vacuum or do some grocery shopping for me for the men's center. He said, I'll be there once a week. So he would come down once a week. He'd vacuum, he'd dust, he'd clean up the place. If I needed someone to go grab paper towels or napkins, he'd go do that for me. And then when he was done, he'd pop down in my office. We'd chat for a half hour and just shoot the breeze. And he talked about his farm and stuff, what he's got going on. And he actually wanted to become a facilitator. So this is a guy that wanted absolutely nothing to do with us, wanted to stay as far away from us as he possibly could. And once he got experience to us, he couldn't get enough of us. He couldn't give back enough. And that's like, I don't know if that's another characteristic of the support groups, because we have people that are very, very, very regular members, and some that kind of come and go. And some of the regular members, there's one member who's a longtime member. I'm not going to mention his name, Gary, but he was been a longtime member, and he said, I think I'm gonna take a break from the group for a while. And some of the guys in the group said, really? So what are you gonna do on a Saturday? Okay, I'll be there. And the thing about it is, some of the people that come to the groups, they're at the end of the rope. We're the last hope. They've got nothing left. They come through our door because they need something, and they get some stuff from the group. And a lot of guys stay because I've gotten so much. I want to make sure that I'm giving back to the next guy that needs someone who's just going to listen to them, who's just going to hear their story, who's going to nod and go, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, who's going to be that for them. So a lot of guys come for what they need, but they keep coming back for what they can give.
Right.
So,
Well, Tom, thank you so much for being here today. I got to have you back on the show.
Cool. That'd be great. I'd love to do that.
Next year, 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary. Oh, Andy, I'd love to hear that. Andy, I'd love to hear them come back to the 50th year anniversary to promote our event. So.
All right. This has been great. I want to thank Tom Maher. He's the office manager of the Twin Cities Men's Center, for joining us today to share the best kept secret in the Twin Cities for nearly 50 years. And it's been great having him talk about the offerings. And be sure and check them out online, tcmc.org. And if you can donate or volunteer, please consider doing that. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Join us again next Saturday. And until next time, please choose to live well.
Hi, I'm Corey Wisco, president of the Wall